conspiracy theories are these big ideas that try to explain something that's happening in society. But the key thing about a conspiracy theory is it has two components that are the explanation for whatever you're trying to explain. Here are the two components. One, there is a group of really powerful people who are behind the mechanisms or behind the activity of the event. So number one, very powerful people are behind it. And then number two, those very powerful people have concealed their involvement. And so they're kind of operating behind the scenes.
Yep, and I agree with that. I was just going to call it sinister plotting, right? But it's exactly what Dane describes. And the challenging thing about it is oftentimes they are doing something that in logic is a no-no. It's basically logical, which is they say if you can't disprove the negative, then it could still be true, right? So just because I've never seen someone from Hollywood eating children, as the Q-Anon to talk about later, doesn't mean they're not doing it, right? So you're trying to prove the negative, which in logic doesn't make sense. You can't disprove something that doesn't exist, but that doesn't mean it might exist. That's a logical fallacy, and there is a degree of logical fallacy here. That doesn't mean that there's never a conspiracy that's real, right? I mean, we're using it in a pejorative sense. I mean, people conspire to do things and carry out plots, but what we're describing here, when we talk about conspiracy theories, are ones based really not on any evidence and presuming some sort of sinister plotting by this group that they're not telling the rest of us. And there's almost no limit to where that can go. And that's why it's very important to talk about, because that's where you end up burning witches and arresting people for being communists and so on and so forth. The sky's kind of the limit